Yo, you guys, what's going on? Happy Wednesday. uh Earlier today we listened to some Fuga Melodies of Steel, and I could have kept it the same live stream, but I decided to pivot to a second live stream. Gonna film a bunch of stuff today. Probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half of stuff, and then I might play a little bit of games. I'm not sure what games yet. But I got a lot of stuff to do. We're doing Nodrakai finally live performance for Genshin. This video that came across my desk. Hey, H-Mon, what's up? What do you mean long time no see? I think I saw you like a couple days ago. In Defense of Video Games is actually a video that someone else made, but how am I not going to watch that and extrapolate on it? Because it seems really interesting. I wanted to do the Wuthering Waves boss theme for the guy. The False Sovereign, that's what it was. And I don't really care about spoilers for that. Yeah, I don't, but I won't watch that. Then I have a couple videos I want to film. Namely, I want to finally do this Animal Crossing versus Doom video that's been sitting here in my list. I'm not going to play Silk Song tomorrow, but I am looking forward to the music for sure. I wanted to do another Mega Man video, and I wanted to do a special Warframe video. We'll see if hopefully I've got time to do all this. That's about 4 or 5 videos. Let's see, where is she? She's here. All right, perfect. Okay. Hope you guys are doing great. Let me just drink some water. What's up? All right. Who is this person? HTWO. Oh, that's great, Eustace. So this came across my desk today. It's a video called In Defense of Video Game OSTs. It's made by HTWO. H2O. Oh, H2O. Like water. This was sent over by one of my patrons. Naturally, I have to obviously listen to it. Offer my commentary. After all, this is a video game music channel that defends video game music all the time, and introduces video game music to non-gamers of all types. So mostly classical musicians. So let's watch this. I'm really intrigued by this.
I see a lot of takes on social media talking about video game OSTs and how they're, cringe and not worth listening to and, whatever. And I'm sure many of these examples I'm showing are just jokes and stuff, but I think a lot of people are unironically haters of video game OSTs.
All right, first of all, let us not take the opinions of people on Twitter and X and Reddit and anywhere else online other than communities that you fostered and created seriously. And I say that because those sites, none of it is real. And everyone is saying things for the sake of anger. Everyone is saying something because they want to be right. Everyone is saying something because they want to be correct, and they want to appear to be the expert in this, that, or the other. So while this entire video is probably created because of random tweets and posts made by lunatics over on Twitter, I let's keep it a buck that personally, in general, the nuanced take is not the one you will find anywhere on the social media, unfortunately, which is really too bad. But if it encouraged you to make this video, then I think it is definitely worth talking about, and I do believe that it is worth talking about video game music and why it's good and why it's important and why we should pay attention to it. So let's keep going.
At risk of, sounding like a cringe Redditor, I want to come out in defense of video game OSTs. Because I think most of the negative things that people say about video game music are super unfounded, but not for the reasons you might think. And I can explain my defense in just one sentence.
First of all, does that mean that I am a cringe Redditor? What the fuck? If my entire channel is what a cringe Redditor would do, oh no. Am I? No. Damn it. Oh God. What a realization.
Video game music is not a genre. And talking about it like it is one just makes absolutely no sense. These pieces of music are all dramatically different from one another. They're written by different composers who have very different styles, who make music that is trying to evoke a bunch of different emotions in you. The only thing that these pieces of music have in common, the only thing that makes people bundle all of these pieces of music into one big group, is that they happen to show up in a video game. If you're like a 60-year-old and someone says video game music, you might stereotypically think of the original Super Mario game or something. And that is a type of video game music. And some modern games do try and emulate that style. You've got Shovel Knight is a great example of this, where all of the music is trying to harken back to the good old days of 5-channel NES music. But this is just one style of very many. If you don't like chiptune, you've also got metal music, or folk songs, or smooth jazz, or orchestral classical music, or prog synth metal, whatever the fuck this is. And these composers all write and play music for all the same reasons that any other musician in the world does. In fact, I'll just show you.
Oh yeah, Dolphin Shoals, Mario Kart 8. I have thoughts. I'm gonna let it roll for a little. Katana Zero is a lovely game, by the way. Yes. I need to listen to this. Echoes of the Eye? Yes. 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 Not my favorite of Risk of Rain, but yes.
Just as these games aren't that similar to each other, the pieces of music found inside also aren't that similar.
Not at all.
There's an elephant in the room. Because, a lot of the flame that video game OSTs get isn't actually about the music itself. It's about that one type of guy that you're all thinking of in your head. You've all got an image of this person in your brain. It's that sweaty Redditor type of guy who very loudly and very proudly talks about how all other music is dog shit and he only listens to the finest of video game OSTs. And this type of person is, you know. These people come off as incredibly pretentious and incredibly elitist about their music taste. And these people are most of the reason why video game OSTs have a bad rap. But if we all stopped listening to music we like because of cringe elitist snobs, then diehard metalheads and jazz elitists would have completely killed anyone's ability to listen to their music.
Wait. So this person is saying that, okay, first of all, to go all the way back, this person said that H2O said that we shouldn't look at video game music as a genre. Now, well, it's music, so I mean, we could completely just forget like the label. Now, labels are complicated because labels, on the one hand, put us in boxes. They're not great. They're not ideal. It's not a good place to be living in a box. One shouldn't live in a what's in the box. That being said, one of the things that I've really hoped to help people think about is the idea that the boxes are not necessary, and that at the end of the day, all we're looking at is the umbrella of video games and video game music, right? So in my mind, in the way that I've sort of approached this channel is here we have the niche video game music, and video games are like the bigger umbrella over that. So you have all the different spokes of an umbrella. You have the art, the narrative, the music, the gameplay, right? And that's the umbrella of video games. And then within the spoke of music, that's the sub niche of gaming that I cover, especially in this channel. It's still gaming, still the umbrella of gaming, but it's music, right? And so within that spoke, you have all the different layers of that spoke that are the different sound styles. And the thing is, you've got 40-ish plus, give or take, years of history there of unique and wonderful sounds. Now, earlier in this video, we talk about Mario and how people associate video game music as beeps and boops. Now, obviously, for those of us that are connected to and tethered to this music, we know that video game music is way more complex than that, and we have tons of genres like this video presents. And so when we are articulating to people that think that video game music sucks, or the cringe Redditor or Twitter user, which again, irrelevant opinion, especially when it's broached in a already infantile and argumentative kind of way, you might as well just dismiss it altogether. But for the sake of the conversation here, the music is the variety is no one can say that video game music sucks because it objectively can't. And I've discovered it. Objectively speaking, video game music cannot be bad because it serves a purpose to make games better. And no composer writes bad music for the sake of writing bad music. Like, music is a vessel with which we also market and use games we use it to sell games and make money, if that makes sense. If I make sense, I have no idea if I make sense. I'm just talking out of my massive brain right now. And so the idea that what they're saying in this video is that the reason why people don't like video game music is because of video game players. I think because the Redditor is okay, well, let's keep listening.
For the rest of time. But we don't allow music snobs to get in the way of our enjoyment of music, because that would be fucking stupid, wouldn't it? Now, there's nothing wrong with being the type of guy who only listens to video game music, but there is something wrong with being the guy who constantly goes around talking about it as if it somehow makes you superior to other people. In fact, something I see not talked about very often is how the rise of video game OSTs has also coincided with the rise of the indie game. As indie games have become more and more popular, and more of them have reached the top 100 best-selling games of all time list, the sound of the video game OST has just become more and more diverse. More and more people pushing the boat out, making weird, freaky music for their video games. Go back to the 80s and 90s, and the only type of music you found in a game was chiptune. And this wasn't a stylistic choice as much as it was a technological limitation. The NES only had 5 sound channels, and the music and the game sound effects had to fit inside of these 5 channels. Consoles in the 90s had a much more wide range of sounds they could make, but it was still pretty limited. Getting to the early 2000s, and audio becomes much more freely available to the composer. And what you'll notice is a lot of the most famous OSTs from the 2000s are all relatively closely mimicking the score you would find on a movie. Like take the Halo games, for example. This is one of the most memorable soundtracks from any game from the 2000s, and it's all choirs and orchestra. Now, there were other games doing other things for their soundtracks, obviously, but all of the most memorable and highest budget soundtracks from the time were all trying to be the movies. And you can still hear that in AAA games of today. Like take the God of War soundtrack.
Okay, but we're okay. But we were just earlier talking about the fact that we shouldn't genre things, but then now we're genreing things by talking about movie soundtracks. I mean, technically, this is all music. The delineation. Okay. Also, I don't actually agree. I think the video is done really well. I really love the editing and the pacing. Indie games did not usher in uniqueness when it comes to soundtracks. I mean, you can't. No, that's not true. I mean, with all due respect, obviously, that's not true. Video game music has been diverse since the night, and even chiptune itself. You have the difference between Sonic, the difference between Mario. Not all these channels, and that's only limited because I don't even know the full breadth of the 16-bit, 18-bit style and the channel systems and so on and so forth. But like the variety on display actually is complex there as well. So I think that's I find that is an inaccurate statement. I don't fully agree with that. Indie games are certainly always going to be leaning towards doing something slightly more experimental or something that is a little bit less, standard than this. But I also don't think it's fair to say that all AAA games default to movie music and this, Well, okay, I want to keep watching, though.
It's not quite John Williams, but you could imagine this soundtrack featuring in a movie. But it doesn't take a genius to notice that all of the most popular soundtracks of nowadays don't come from AAA games. They come from indie games. Toby Fox is the man around town at the moment.
Well, I know this video absolutely got claimed because... Okay.
His soundtracks are insanely popular, and for good reason. His music is really, really good. It sounds great, and it's also really impressive from a musical standpoint. Lena Raine's Celeste soundtrack is also incredibly popular. The success of Celeste's soundtrack allowed her to go on to make music for Minecraft, the best-selling game of all time. And I couldn't have a video talking about video game music if I didn't mention my favorite OST of all time, which is the Risk of Rain 2 OST, and I'll try and pronounce his name right. Chris Christodoulou, I think.
Christodoulou, yeah.
His OSTs are just insane. And you would have heard me use them a million times if you've watched my videos. These composers aren't just great because they made video game music in games I like. They're great because their music stands out, because their music sounds incredible. And I can't stress enough how bundling these artists together truly just makes no sense. The only thing that unifies these 3 composers is that their music is featured in video games. Now, back in the 80s and 90s, grouping video game music under one banner made a little bit more sense. The restrictive technology that I already mentioned did make a lot of the music sound kind of similar, but they didn't sound that similar. Like, even back then, grouping gaming music all into one big bundle still didn't feel right. You can still discern one style from another, even with all of this restriction imposed on top of the artists. And as time goes on, grouping these pieces of music together under the banner of video game OSTs just becomes more and more increasingly obviously stupid. Can you imagine, like, listening to the soundtrack of the Dune movies or something, and having someone go, "Oh, you listen to movie OSTs? That's weird, why don't you listen to real music?" No one would say that. No one in their right mind, because it would sound ridiculous. Because
actually, a lot of people say that.
the fact that this music was written for a movie says nothing about how worthy it is for your attention. And just the same as video game music, calling it movie music doesn't actually tell you anything about the genre. And honestly, I think if you fast forward 50 years into the future...
Usually people will say that movie music is much simpler in the way that it is created and produced. I mean, John Williams is a phenomenal movie music composer, but some of his stuff is quite simple. Not to say that it is not meaningful or not complex, because it is in its own way, but in reality, there is a simplicity and a catchiness that movie music, especially when we are talking melodic movie music, which is different than ambient movie music to just like showcase a background, it is much more linear, I suppose is the word to use. So I hesitate to say, I mean, I've been listening to John Williams my entire life. Like since I was 10 years old, I've been listening. So 28 years I've been listening to John Williams. The reason why John Williams is so successful is because John Williams' music is catchy as hell. Now, I want you to go and hum Mahler's Fourth, or other than go hum, it's very hard to find some classical music that can be hummed. And the thing is that like when we really consider it, all music lives and dies by two things. Well, more than that, but for the sake of argument, rhythm and melody, right? And I find there are plenty of pieces in classical music that can also be hummed and are earworms and have melodic impetus that allows you to connect with them. It's just, okay. All right, hold on. I have more thoughts.
We will treat video game composers with the exact same level of respect as we treat movie composers of today. The reason we don't already do that is actually pretty simple. Video games are a relatively new art form. Video games have only existed for a few decades. There are people alive right now who were born before the first video game console, before the first arcade cabinet, before Tennis for Two ever ran on that oscilloscope. But movies are an art form that's been with us for hundreds of years, and they've had time for well-respected artists to spend their entire lives working in the medium, and it's had time for audiences to grow up surrounded by the culture that movies have created. One day in the future, video games will have soaked into the culture just as much as movies have. We're getting pretty close already, but we're not quite there yet, and when that day comes, this talk of video game OSTs will surely die with it.
Which is kind of hilarious, because games make way more money than music than movies do at this point, which is really, really funny. How much money video games make, and how much is in the honeypot these days when it comes to games in comparison to movies. In fact, I would say that movies are struggling a bit, especially in a post-COVID world. If you look at how anime bloomed during the 2020s and the early 2020s, and video games also bloomed in the 2020s. I mean, I remember trying to buy a PlayStation 5 at launch. It was a nightmare. I actually, what I really like about this video is the passion that H2O has about gaming music. Now, I think that I just think it's really interesting how much enthusiasm there is for game music. I don't mind like people being labeled. I understand what the point. So what the point of the video is to unscrew the box and let out all the good stuff. Open the Pandora's box and let people be free of the burden of being like under the veneer of video game music, because there are people on Twitter and Reddit that we don't care about, or some we do care about some of the people on there, that are suggesting that video game music is stupid and you shouldn't listen to it. But those people are terrible and boring and have nothing of value. No, I'm sure they have something of value to provide society. But in general, like, that's not really an opinion. That is such a hot take that, like, I feel most people that feel that way, or first of all, are not people you want to associate with anyway, especially if you love games and love music. But second of all, is also such a narrow-minded, closed, stupid take that, again, it's almost pointless to bring up. I mean, if video game music is incredibly diverse, and in my experience with showcasing it to classical musicians, there is so much to uncover. And it's not to say that everyone likes everything, because some of it can be very simple. And that simplicity is because it has a very specific purpose. Its purpose is to be programmatic, to tell a story, and either that or to loop in the background while you're doing stuff. Like, that is the scope of it. Now, it's also interesting because when recently I presented the Promised Consort Radon to a classical conductor at the Metropolitan Opera and beyond. And I was like, I think this is Wagnerian. And he listened to it and he said, no, it's not. It's incredibly simple. And it's funny because in the gaming circles, we think that the Promised Consort Radon is one of these like majestic, perfect pieces of video game music. But in reality, to ears that spend a lot of time in classical music, it is not all that complex. And again, the conversation needs to be, well, do I care about that? No, I personally don't care about whether or not it's complex or whatever to make it be good. But I do think that there is a degree of a pursuit of sophistication that I also think that as listeners, we should decide if we care about. Because, for instance, Green Hill Zone from Sonic is not necessarily complex. But does that mean it's devoid of merit? No. It's just not as complex. I mean, like, does that mean it's not as valuable as Undertale? No. It's just a different use case and a different use point. So, I want to just wrap up this video really quick.
You bundle all of these incredibly diverse pieces of music under one unifying banner when they truly sound nothing alike. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I see that point very much. I do think, in my mind, that they are fine to be under one banner. I don't think it makes a difference. Video game music is a giant box. And in some ways, there's freedom in it that classical music doesn't get to have. But this really goes for everything. Why are then we boxing movie music? Why are we boxing in classical music? I mean, like, all these things are boxed in. So in my mind, it's like, yeah, I agree. That's why I'm like, let's do a freaking concert. Give me John Williams. Give me Brahms or give me Brahms or Mozart. Give me Austin Wintory. Give me Lena Raine. Give me orchestrated version of Undertale or Monster Hunter or any of the Japanese composers, really. Yoko Shimomura. Let's make a freaking classical music concert that features all of this stuff and just like blur the lines. So the boxes, I think, are personally, I think the boxes are okay. However, if a person doesn't want to open the box and look in the box, first of all, you're not going to be able to make them do it. And second of all, whatever, you know what I mean? Enter expletive here. There's nothing that really get in the way. Okay. Don't want to open the box? That's your problem, not mine. I'm enjoying my box. I like my box. I like this box too. Why don't I combine all the stuff and mix and match my cartoons and my toys and have them all be in different boxes? Because that's the spice of life, baby. If you're that close-minded that you don't want to engage with something, you don't need to. And that's fine. That's fine. But it's interesting how this video was created because of people on Twitter or people on Reddit who have a superiority complex about whether or not their composers are better than others. Listen, we're all just trying to make it out of here in one piece, and we won't, but we're all trying. So in that case, it was really interesting. I mean, in defense of video game OSTs, what a title. I thought the video was really, you could tell it really comes from a passionate place. And while I don't necessarily agree with everything, as a person who has an entire channel built around video game music, I couldn't help but check it out. So thanks for that, H2O, and great job. Boop. I really am a reactor. Hey guys, what's going on? How are you guys doing? I tipped my hat to you, Zeddy, earlier. Gooner Game OST. So I have a whole video. Of VTuber stuff that has been getting cut left and right because of freaking copyright. No, I didn't finish Bonanza. It overwhelmed me. I had to stop. I'm gonna blame the ADHD. Yo, what's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Just got a couple more videos here I wanted to film. I like doing this stuff live. I think it's really fun. I know some of you have not been in these live streams before, or have not watched like a live filming. It's just a little bit more engaging and fun for me. I don't really care if there's like 10 people here, 30 people here, 100,000 people here. Like, it's just a fun way to film that is less boring. Yeah, oh, I want to listen to. Is that? Oh no, okay. I thought that was Vamp in your Sir C. That's what's his name? From Deus Ex. Yeah, I should definitely listen to some of the Bonanza soundtrack. We should do a Nintendo. I should do a Nintendo video at some point and feature some tracks from Mario Kart World and let me write that down. Nintendo. I have a lot to film in the next couple weeks before before I play Silksong and before I get married. So I need to make sure that I get my ducks in a row so then I can know life Silksong. Nintendo OSTs. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. I've been meaning to ask you something. I know you're fine not having context in music sometimes, but have you ever felt... I'm going to make that into a video. I'm going to push record. JV Dragoon asked me, I've been meaning to ask you something. I know you're fine not having context in music sometimes, but have you ever felt like listening to a game OST felt like you're spoiling yourself? No. And I'll tell you why. I have two thought processes when it comes to listening to music and whether it's in context or out of context, before or after. So on the one hand, I think listening to music before playing a game is such a delicious way to get a primer for what is expected. And the reason why I come up with that idea is because when I was an opera singer studying and I was like working my way to learning the repertoire, I would listen to pieces of music and read. Well, before I read the libretto, I would listen to the piece of music first, kind of let it sit in my ear. Oh, that sounds sad. That sounds happy. That sounds intense. That sounds whatever. Okay, cool. And then what I would do is this is like a multi-step process. Then I would take the lining of the CD usually had the libretto, and the libretto, which means little book in Italian, libretto is the little, like all the different, like the translation. So then what I would do is I would listen to it a second time and I would read along. So I would get a mental picture of what was happening. Right now, that already would make the experience different. So I don't think there's anything wrong with listening to a soundtrack before, because then you get like a taste. It's the appetizer, it's the aperitif, right? Then if you, in this case, I was like reading along to the music. So in this case, it would be slightly like context. But then what I would do is I would watch it. And I remember a distinct example of how how an opera was more impactful, an opera duet was more impactful. So then I was listening to the Madama Butterfly love duet. It's like 12 minutes long. It can be so boring if you don't know all the different ebbs and flows or the pace of it and like you haven't really studied it, right? So then I went to go see Madama Butterfly. And I got to the love duet, and I'd already heard it before. I already knew what was going on. I already knew like the history of it, what they're saying, blah 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 blah. I watch it. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, the love duet from Madama Butterfly is like the best thing I've ever heard. Like wow, because I got the visual. And opera is a funny art form because the music and the visuals are both separate and together. So like, let me rephrase that. So like, okay, you can listen to ADHD. You can. I'm learning that I have ADHD, so sometimes I waff about, and I'm like, "Hello, where am I going? Is this a good video?" So you need the opera part. You need, when the opera is actually being performed, you need the music and you need the visual. When you're listening to opera, all you need is the music. So it's different than video games, because video games, it's like you need the music and the gameplay in order to maybe get the full depth of the like intensity of the moment. You can also listen to the music separately and derive your own emotion, from it. But it really, really is enhanced by the gameplay. So I don't ever feel like I'm spoiling myself. It just depends, because there are some game experiences like Expedition 33 where I only wanted that experience to be like it as the complete package. I didn't want to listen, because I got the OST ahead of time and I listened to like 15 tracks or so, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold off and I'm going to listen to the whole thing when I have the game in front of me as well. Because I think that's how I want to pair this. It's like wine with a good meal, like wine with steak, or, white wine with fish or whatever, right? So that was, so no, I don't feel like I'm spoiling myself, because then when I went and listened to Studio Ghibli music, Ghibli, Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind, I listened to that soundtrack. I listened to jazz versions of those songs. So I became attached to the melodies of the music of Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. And it wasn't until I saw it that I was like, oh, this is that song that I really like from this jazz album, but now I'm seeing it in context. Wow, this is so cool. And it usually, this miraculous thing happens when you've heard something before, is that you're able to like, there's already a tether. And then once you connect it to the context, it's amazing to feel how the tether actually becomes richer and deeper. So the question is, am I spoiling myself? No. And in some cases, I'll give you an example. In some cases, the musical context that I've created, like for instance, 14.3 billion years from Outer Wilds, did not hit very hard in context for me. Out of context, tears, crying, sadness, like thinking of my dead father, my relationship with life, whatever. 14.3 billion years out of context hits me way harder than it ever did in context. In fact, when I got to it in context, I was like, oh, that's nice. So it's all just like the beauty of it. This is a very nuanced take, but for me, it's just all about like the music and the gameplay, and separate and together, and mixing it all and putting it all in the right place. And it's all good. It's whatever you want. I do think that we have an over reliance on visuals, though. And that is maybe a spicy hot take, but I personally feel that we have an over reliance on being told what to feel and what to, and how. I feel that we have an over reliance on needing to see things and then connect it to music. I think it's healthy and useful to take the music and remove it from the context, sometimes because that allows us to think about the music in a more deep way. And obviously music's role is to enhance and increase emotional response to visual stimuli in the case of video games. But I think that we can actually extrapolate it or listen to it beforehand and create our own universes and our own feelings. And that's really healthy. Discovering and looking at what things are. That's not to say that it shouldn't be the package, because the package is the package. That's its purpose, right? It is made for specific moments. That's a nuanced take, a nuanced discussion. Probably not the best YouTube video, but I made one. Yeah, no, I mean, there's no right or wrong. Ultimately, it's like whatever you want. I posted a video. It was a video about not skipping to 6 minutes and 23 seconds or whatever. And someone said that I don't tell people what to do because you end up looking like an asshole. The people that agree with you won't say anything, and the people that don't agree with you will double down and push away from you. So you lose nothing and gain nothing. You gain nothing and lose everything. And yeah, skip it to the beach. And I was like, well, I'm not telling people what to do. If you really perceive this as me telling you what to do, then you might be the issue. It might not be me. It's been something that's been in my head for a while because there are times when I'm like, I really got to listen in the game only, mostly with games I really want to play. Here's the thing. If you... Yeah. If you really want to listen to the music in game only, why shouldn't you? Ghost of Tsushima is another example where Ghost of Tsushima has such a beautiful soundtrack that I didn't really enjoy out of context until after I played it. Yeah, listening to music outside of a game afterwards is also really cool. You don't have to listen to it before. There's something to be said for like, once you've seen the visual, then you go back and then like extrapolate it, or you like for instance, so there's one thing I kind of hate about media is that, like, listen, I was reading Lord of the Rings a couple months ago, and all I can fucking see is Elijah Wood's face. That context is ruined for me because I'll never have like my own visual, right? So what I'm kind of bummed by is, like, imagine if I had read Lord of the Rings before Lord of the Rings came out movie-wise. I would have had a totally different visual for Frodo and Sam and, you know, Merry and Pippin and Frodo and Gandalf and Aragorn and all that. You know, so like the context is now the movie, not my context. And so that's why I kind of advocate for, like, well, why don't you listen to it before? You know, because then when you listen to it afterwards, it's like Way of the Jinsakai, the song Jinsakai. It plays, it's not a spoiler, it's like the very first 10 seconds of the game. He plays it when he like puts out his hand and touches the blade of grass, you know? It's a gorgeous moment in game. So when I listen to that again, well, every time I see it, every time I hear it, I hear that, I see that moment. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it does limit my imagination, I think, just slightly. I mean, who cares? I mean, who gives a shit? Like, I don't really give a shit. But it's like, huh. A lot of people didn't give Clay's theme from Expedition 33 a proper reaction. You know, the Claire Obscure reactions were very interesting because I agree with you. But you look at the society is funny because you with the beard looks more majestic. Do you realize that that is kind of a rude thing to say? Like, it is a little rude because what if I like myself more without a beard? Am I not much? I look like a pauper. I look like a pauper. Like, what do I look like? I look more majestic with a beard. So what do I look like without a beard? So I could easily think to myself, oh, so I look like shit without a beard. What if I love how I look without a beard? What then? You know what I mean? I like how I look with a beard. But this is who I am. This is me. This is the real deal. I'm not hiding. You know what I mean? It's just funny. I don't care. It's not like offensive, but it's like, you with the beard looks more majestic. Okay, so I look like shit without a beard then. What you're saying? You know? What am I supposed to say? Thanks? Rip Marco's beard, that one chatter guy. They finally got it. But yeah, Claire Obscure was interesting because I was thinking I was going to do 33 videos of Claire Obscure, but then I started to see how... No, you don't have to ban. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Unless they become weird, then yeah, but it's fine. I found it really funny how it was like the top 5 songs from Claire Obscure were the ones and every single reactor on the internet filmed the same. Lumiere, whatever, Alicia, and there were a couple others. The rest of them actually, but regardless, the rest of them also performed negative or poorly. Not negative, but poorly. And via Timmy. Right. So what was funny is that it didn't really matter. I know, Siren is amazing. You didn't mean that, bro? It's okay, bro. Don't worry about it. Compliment my face now, though. Since you said my beard without my beard was majestic. How about, look, you can compliment my face now. Just kidding. Okay. I'm kidding. Your face looks adequate. God. It's a hard balance. It's a hard balance with, which is why I try to do less like overt reaction content and more, oh good, I'm so glad you're playing it. At the very least, I played through Claire Obscure. I played Claire Obscure as a gamer and then went and analyzed the music afterwards. So I feel like I did try to differentiate myself from just like reacting to it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like part of the thing that made that game special was also playing it and experiencing it and then talking about the music. But then you'll get people that are like, well, this is tarnished because it's not an actual reaction. It's like a breakdown. And it's like, well, bro, what do you... there's a balance. You just finished Hollow Knight? Oh, I just finished it yesterday. I don't know what to do with myself. And I won't be playing Silksong tomorrow. I have to wait. Like next week will be all Silksong reactions. Well, no, not next week, but the week after. Oh, I love The Reacher. Are you kidding? I loved The Reacher. I actually have a video coming out about why Claire Obscure ruined gaming for me and why I'll probably never play Claire Obscure again, or not for like another 5 to 6 years because I love it so much. It's just such a good game. Every game that's come out since I've compared to it. Ayo, I gotta tell you the truth. I probably won't. I probably won't be playing 2.6 because I'm not really interested. I'm not really interested in 2.6. I hate to say it. I know that's salacious, but I'm not crazy about 2.6. I'm not really interested in any of the characters. All right, let's I'll probably play it off stream. I mean, I'm glad to fly, but yeah. All right, let's pop over to Nodra Kai. This has been something that people... What is 2.6? It's for Wuthering Waves. It's one of the gacha games. The gacha game I play. I play Destiny Rising right now, though. That game is actually solid. And a very friendly and generous... No, generous is pushing it, but a very friendly gacha system for Destiny Rising. Destiny Rising is like a pretty decent game for lapsed Destiny players that don't want to go and play Destiny 2. Gustav seems amazing. I think part of the reason that soundtrack is really hard to listen to out of context. I find that Claire Obscure's soundtrack is incredibly depressing. Now there are positive moments, of course, and I talk about that in this video. I this rant I made, but it is tough. It is tough to listen to out of context without just getting sad. I also just don't like Yuno and Augusta as characters. I don't find them very compelling, which is why I haven't wanted to play. So Let me just record this. Well, Genshin Impact is officially moving into 6.0, which means Node Cry is here. I thought we would be going to Snezhnaya, but I guess we're going to another place with fantastical cherubs and lots of fantasy. It looks really pretty, actually. Definitely, Genshin's the best part about Genshin to me. Is still the exploration in the worlds. This was a live performance from the other day. Node Cry main theme with Aurora, who I also did not know. So I'm really curious to hear this. We're going to break it down, listen to it, stop, start as we go. So that's Latin. So something really interesting about Aurora singing that I've literally never heard. This is my first time getting an experience with this. There's a delicacy in her singing. It's very breathy, very raspy. It has a I wouldn't say Celtic vibe, but it certainly has a very angelic, floaty. It's definitely grounded in some sort of culture. What I find really interesting about it is that it almost has a childlike essence to it. And then also doubling down with this harp here is a really beautiful touch because, again, it connects us to the semblance of innocence and of there's a fairy quality in it. There's very, very, very like I don't know. There's almost spiritual, especially with the Latin tapped in. It feels like a prayer. It feels like a solemn feeling. There's a real, just a real gentility in it that is quite beautiful. Ooh. There's a super subtle harmony that's happening in there that's absolutely beautiful. This is definitely giving Celtic, Scottish, Welsh. I don't know. There's obviously mythological. It's interesting. It reminds me a little bit of Rusalka, just a tiny bit. Rusalka, which is the Little Mermaid. It's a Dvorak opera. There's a bit of like I am the moon, or I am the, like, there's a real fantastical, mythological, it's very, very rich in its qualities. There's some really nice doubling there with that particular instrument. And then the flute comes in, it has this real layer of lightness as well, which I think is really, really, beautiful. Wow. Huge fan of your commentary, maybe not some of your music tastes. What does that mean? Such an odd thing to say. What does that mean, Brick? What does that mean? What's really interesting there is that we have the really sharp, enunciated, sort of white voice, white singing, very Slavic sound quality of the chorus. I also found it interesting that when they were talking about basically their homeland being wiped out, you have this, where is their homeland? What is their homeland? There's this real heft in the lower male voices, and then the upper sopranos, I think, with that sort of outcried, when I say white singing, white voice, it's very not a lot of soft palate raise as far as I understand. It's a bit pointed, a bit nasal, a bit pressed. And that sound is usually very, very in line with the idea of screaming or like a beautiful shouting. It's a real declamation. And what I find interesting is that being that it's juxtaposed with the beautiful string melody that's playing in the orchestra section, that is almost like the gods answering the calls of their people. If the people are shouting out, God, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Whatever. The strings then are the answer to that, which I find really interesting. Key change, of course. I also feel it's very Celtic in its nature. I mean, I think the quality of it is Celtic. I also think that that choir is so incredible, and then there's a little bit of doubling in the sound as well. So again, there's this we are strong, we are capable, we are mighty, we can stand against this adversity, we can stand against this feeling of stress, we can overcome this challenge, we can survive, we can rebuild. There's a lot of that female choir, that sound is very poised, and there's a lot of energy within that rhythm. It's very, it could be also a Nordic sound, perhaps. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I have an egg. The upper flute going up in the upper register. Oh my god, I have goosebumps. Oh shit. Oh my god, I still have full body goosebumps. Oh, no, more. No, why would you stop? No. Oh my god, I love that back half. I love hearing the power in Aurora's voice as she digs deep into that middle register. You really feel like this is, I wasn't looking, she was entrancing to look. I literally have full body goosebumps there. It's really nice to revisit Genshin's music. I really like this particular style of Genshin music. This feels really good. This feels like a return to something that I like a lot. It's not to say I didn't enjoy the Notlum pieces I listened to. I did, but they felt a little, I don't know, shallow to me when I listened to them. Like, they were good, but they weren't. I didn't feel like they were seismic or that they like moved me to like a deeper feeling of emotion and thought. I want to go back really quickly because that part where she comes in, she's speaking, so she's Sprechstimming, where she's speaking. Right here. I love, so there you get the real emphasis shift, and that's a real nice beat change, because the first half of this is kind of flowy, you know, the moon and the stars and the twinkling of the lights, and then as you progress, boom, body, bobby da da be body da da ba ba da ba ba body. That's where we really kick in with the energy. Let me read what the lyrics are. Yeah, so she, why do you mourn? She, I think, qui lacrima, you know, why are you crying? I think this is also, this is a deity speaking to her denizens. Maybe it's the archon of, I don't know, whatever. Like, there's something about this energy, and based on the clips that I've seen of Note Cry, like, there is this, this real, like, the gods and the people kind of are all together in this thing. It's addictive. Hold on. Here come the trumpets, we press in. Wow, yeah, that's goosebumps again. Yeah. One more verse would have been just perfect. Oh my gosh. One more verse of that sort of cutaway. That's also really cool because we cut away. So we have this big orchestral build up to that. And then the cutaway, when we go to just the vocals, that is delightful. It's such an emotional gut punch too, because when you strip away, you have 2 minutes now of just intense orchestral playing. You strip away the orchestra and you're just left with the vocals. That is such a hit in your face. You know, it's such a passionate thing. I would have liked one more loop of that, because the little part where she's just kind of free floating, not improvising, because she's not improvising, but like when she goes up to the upper register, it's just like it's just so lovely. And then it's just. See, right, big trumpets, everything. Yeah. A really nice ending, though, and Aurora, wow, I'm going to go listen to her stuff, because that is obscene. I don't know, is there more? Oh, there is! This is the battle theme. This is the photon of fluctuation. This is Celtic. Oh, this is that, This guy, there was a YouTube video where he talked about the process of playing here. Or he's on Billy, I don't know. Nice heavy hits there. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. Bagpipes. Oh yeah. Oh, this. Oh yeah. it's Irish. Scottish. Excuse me. Yeah, the upper. Ooh. Okay. Very potent. Ooh. That's got some nice body to it. I don't think I've ever heard the bagpipes in a like. Yeah. There's the danger in that sound. Oh yeah, honestly, that might be one of my favorite Genshin pieces I've ever heard in terms of like battle themes, not counting boss themes. Like that's a great boss theme. Recency bias and upon first listen, but like listen to how cool the section is where she actually there's doubling there. And sorry to all the Scottish people that I said that the bagpipes were Irish. Please mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Right here, this is actually amazing with the doubling here. So the horns have a counter melody. It's all kind of merging together right here. Oh, that's so good. A little bit of that's really it's this type of singing and this particular movement is very it's a release. There are many kinds of singing that exist, and this kind is really, I think, appealing to a broad audience because it's visceral. It's a full-bodied sort of scream release extension. It comes out. It's very outward. And I love that about it because again, it's more primal screamy. It's not like fully. I mean, yes, it's covered. It's raised soft palate, all that typical stuff. But it's not like that doesn't work here because it's too precious. We really need that sort of release here. And then what's awesome is that the rhythm in that particular section is doubled in every single instrument. It sounds like, or at least the strings for certain. And we end up getting a triple down emphasis on that power in that, which is awesome right here. Yeah, that's a really nice. it's almost like a call and response kind of, because there's like, you know, the back and forth between the vocals and the danger. So it's like the hero versus the adversity, blah 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 blah. You know, that type of stuff. And what I was saying earlier is that the bagpipes are really interesting in this particular recording, because in general the only time I've ever heard bagpipes is as a solo instrument, usually at a funeral or I went to one time I was in Chicago. There's a Scottish themed restaurant, and I went there, and at the hours between of like, I don't know, 5 and question mark, there is a man outside playing the bagpipes. It just cracks me up. So to hear a bagpipe here, I feel a fairly underrepresented instrument when it comes to like all these instruments are kind of older, folkier, but to hear bagpipes in this particular instance is quite nice and very very charming. Wow, what a theme! What a theme! You know, if this is, I'm excited to listen to more. To be honest, yeah. I know that I haven't been around talking about Genshin and playing Genshin. I probably won't go back to playing Genshin. I mean, I might. I just don't really have the time to dedicate to it, and I've kind of shifted gears. But that being said, there is still a lot of musical and artistic merit to Genshin Impact that I think is there, and I am really excited for more of this Notecry music. I will always provide what I like, what I don't like, what I think could have been better. You know, these critiques are important, and but overall, like it's good to have nuance when we listen to music, because it's not good or bad. There's always all the different shades of gray that make music amazing and make our personal tastes and subjective ideas about them great. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more and seeing the beautiful colors of Notecry, because it's been really beautiful. And that guy, the one character with the shadowy lamps. Shoot, I might come back just to pull that guy. All right, guys, thank you, and I'll see you later. I'm not actually leaving, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think artistically, no. Artistically, I think Genshin really does have a lot going for it. I re-downloaded it to play it the other day, and I don't think I'll be able to play it ever again. I wasn't a big fan of it going back to it. It's not to say I think it's bad or anything. I just like, Nolly boy, thank you for that sub. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, so I really enjoyed those. Oh, Crystal Chronicles. Yeah, it has similar sound to Crystal Chronicles. The Eternal Sun album from Genshin, it could. Notecry is South Snezhnaya. I didn't realize that. Okay, let's see. So, what time is it? 3:30. What's that, guys? Sorry. Ooh, should we do a ranking video? Next week, I'm going to re-record with him. You are one of several people. Are there streams where you accept viewer requests? Would give you 10 subs for a short react? I saw Noli Boy, I saw, thank you, by the way. I saw your, it wasn't rude to ask that, by the way. Would I take 10 gifted subs to react to a fake Grand Order orchestra? That is not something I would certainly do on this channel. I think, I think in some ways, this sounds weird, but subs, it's better to go on Patreon. And that said, hold on. How long is, because I love Fate Fate Zero is one of my favorite anime at this point. Oh, Fate Grand Order. All right, hold on. Is that Mystic Eyes Symphony?
So Medusa Saber not.
Jesus Christ, what is that? Yeah, I think Patreon's a better place for that, Noli Boy, because then it can end up on a Patreon live stream, and I'm not opposed to doing stuff like that, but I usually don't do it from like, Bonasu. I usually don't do that from chat. It's just because it's complicated. Yeah. Sorry about that. I hope that explains itself. Okay. So let's do some ranking. Just do one ranking. Let's do a boss theme ranking. Ooh, that sounds fun. No, I saw that. I heard about that Dan to Dan episode. It made me, it bumped Dan to Dan up pretty high. But right now on Patreon, it's Fate Zero, Violet Evergarden. Well, those two. I won't be able to today, but tomorrow I'm gonna sort of go on a binge of Violet Evergarden, I believe, because I have a lot of time after I get my marriage license. It'll be Violet Evergarden for like most of the day over there. And then I wanted to add Edge Runners this week, but Hollow Knight kind of took, last week actually, but Hollow Knight took over. So after Edge Runners, I'm going to add FMA B and Mob Psycho. Because I heard it's great. Hablo español? Sí, si quieres podemos hablar un poquito de español. No mucho, pero un poquito. Tofu. To avoid getting depression. They accidentally made you and your wife lesbians? Ah, no, yo no soy de España, yo soy de Italia. Veramente soy de los Estados Unidos. Pero puedo hablar español también. I don't know anything about Mob Psycho. I tried to buy book 1 of the manga last week because I wanted to see what I was getting myself into, but I couldn't find it. I was really bummed out. I've been reading not in like a week, but I've been reading Tokyo Ghoul. Holy hell. Tokyo Ghoul, the manga. I know I'm not supposed to watch the anime, which I won't. But I seem slightly cursed without a beard. Why do people say this? ¿Por qué dice una cosa così? ¿Cómo puedes decir una cosa en ese modo? Yo soy cursed sin la barba? No es una buena cosa para decir, ¿eh? Es muy rude. I know, I don't take it personally. It's just funny that people are like, you look cursed as fuck without your beard. What the fuck? That is the rudest shit. I look 5 years younger. No de nada. Muchas gracias. Me gusta mucho hablar español. Mob Psycho is one of the best characters with Reigen? Really? No, I know. People are not used to seeing me without my beard. This is me, baby. Raw. This is me at my best. Allegedly, Lincoln was told that his beard was too small, and a girl suggested he grow a beard to make him look fitter. Cada vez que me afieto, me veo mucho más joven, lo cual es bueno, pero también me revisan para comprar bebidas nuevas. I like not having a beard because then the food doesn't get stuck. Bro, I gotta be real about the beard. If I could grow one like you, I would look like ZZ Top. Just like... the longest I ever had my beard was... here, I'll show you. I didn't play the new update, but I'm gonna listen to some of the music here in a second if you give me a little bit of time. ¿Dónde está mi canal? Está aquí. Okay. Mira. Let's look. So when my beard was at its biggest, it was... I'm wholesome and wise. Even though I yelled at you for telling me that I look cursed. You son of a bitch. I used to keep my beard very, very thin when I first started my channel. God, I need to lose these 40 pounds, guys. It's bad. My beard was its biggest where? Somewhere around 3 years ago. Oh my God. I had a huge beard at one point. Where the fuck? Where is it? Okay, we're getting there. It's getting big. No. I shaved again. I shave a lot. This was normal beard. I used to have a huge beard. Oh, here we go. Right around here. Yeah. Right there. Look at this is the biggest my beard has ever been. Not necessarily from a compositional perspective, but from the perspective of understanding music and wanting to feel things more deeply. You see, when I was coming up in opera, all I ever wanted to do was affect people, let people feel more honestly, more... Oh my God, that sounds so childlike. Purely, and from a more vulnerable and authentic perspective. This YouTube channel has allowed me to reach more people than I ever could have. You see, I've not changed very much. I've had some people say that I've changed, but honestly, I still feel the same way. Comments, especially the nice ones, have really meant so much. This is back when I was editing my videos. That's hilarious. Okay, here we go. I'm sure you've seen a million of these before. Yeah, look at this beard. That was long. Subscriber. There it is. There it is. The greatest love of my life, my support system, my rock, my absolute best friend. Oh, I dedicated that to my father. I'm so pure. Love that guy. Yeah, everything's kind of the same, to be honest. I look older there. It's probably because I was miserably sad. That was 100K. You don't get anything until 1 million. What's up, Brian? Yeah, tofu. Hello. I do get it, yeah. Stay swole, bro. I'm fat as fuck right now, but thank you. I'm fat as fuck. I look healthier? Yeah, no, I'm definitely healthier. Back then, I was so fucking sad because I was just I was mourning my dad. Like, hey, my name is Marco. I'm a former opera singer turned voice actor. Today I want to talk about a beautiful song from Nier Automata. What's there to say except that it's a beautiful song? No, I'm just kidding. It's really some. Oh my god. Think about this piece. This piece is going to be very difficult. This is the skin shirt. Yeah, I no longer wear this shit anymore. To talk about removing ourselves from the game, because this was one of the first. Oh god. When Nier Automata came out, look, I don't think I shower. I mean, I don't always shower here now, but like, look, this is so disheveled. I was always wearing hoodies. My dad's guitar is back here. This is when I used to work in this is when I used to be in my fort, my voiceover fort. Was perplexed because I had heard of Nier Gestalt, and there was a lot of buzz around Nier Automata, and I remember seeing a trailer and I was like, wow, it's 2D, but there's also these 3D elements, and I don't really understand what's going on, but these folks that are wearing these black outfits and the white hair are extremely cool, literally. That was what I thought. And the more I watched trailers and gameplay, the more I was like, wow, this is like really cool. And I thought it would just be like one of these typical shooter, like, you know, old school asteroids, like just shoot everything. And as I began to realize that there were like however many endings, like 13, 14 endings, and then you had to like play through the game multiple times, like I sort of realized that this was something that was different than every other game that had really come. See, this, you know, a couple weeks ago, I do voiceover. I actually just had an audition yesterday. It just doesn't come in as frequently. It's so cool that Marco's little brother, I let it little. Yeah, man, it's true. Yeah, I feel bad for this guy because this guy was really trying to navigate a lot of stuff. So when I said I wanted to go back and make shitty videos, this is what I meant. Like, who watches a lot of people don't watch a 5-minute long, a 2-minute intro. And that sucks because, like, I mean, I don't think they even. Oh, you see, you can't see. That video only made $81 since? Why? Damn. Oh, you know why? Because I think this was copyright claim. Look at, you can even see. See, people don't watch 2-minute long intros. Look at this. Look at that. Sad. They don't even want to watch me talk about it. You would love to do VA work? I will tell you it's very hard. It's very hard because there's a lot of just stuff you have to wade through. It's very challenging. And it's like sort of random. You never know what's going to happen. It's complex. It's tough. All right, hold on one second. All right. What time is it? 3:30. Shoot. I don't think I have half hour. Oh. Oh, I can't play this. Damn it. Can I play this? I don't have to play all of this. I think this is super copyright unfriendly. Oh, yeah, no, I can't play this. Fuck. Oh, that's why. Hold on. Techno Syndrome. Where's Suki? Suki's not here. I have to have a word with Suki. Test your might. So it's funny. Techno Syndrome, the Mortal Kombat. Everyone thinks that this is actually associated with the games, but it's actually associated with the movie. So, I miss you as an NPC in Genshin. I think some stuff has happened behind the scenes. Because yeah, I haven't been asked back. It's not because. See you later. Yeah, of course. It's not because of everything that happened with Genshin. I think the strike really shifted things with Genshin and shifted things with talent and a whole bunch of stuff, because I don't even know if the director I worked with is even still directing Genshin. Like, and now they're using UK hires. So I also don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we'll ever see Dvorak again. Dvorak. And it's not because of not saying anything. But have they even done a Lantern right? I don't even remember. Yeah, they changed studio. That I know. So, I don't know. Aren't you supposed to be cooking dinner? Time to voice act in Wuwa? I won't ever be able to. No, because it's all... But I'm non-union. So, I should do my due diligence, and I should text my director and be like, hey, man, it's been a minute. How are you? I want to do a video on... Hold on.
Hey guys, so
Oh, Bury the Light got deleted.
I got a quick one for you. I noticed the other day that if you go on YouTube and search up the Bury the Light theme, you know, Virgil's theme, it doesn't show up. And when I found out about this, it made me really upset, because if you didn't know, Bury the Light was on track to be the most viewed video game song ever. So it had close to 160 million views.
I've auditioned for Enfield.
I remember correctly. And it was getting really close to passing Megalovania. That's like the sand.
Hold on. It's because Casey took over it, which, as he should. Yeah, it's on his channel now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. At Doom's Gate. Hold on one sec. Thank you. No, he's chill. Casey's very relaxed. Aquatic ambiance. Still alive. Sorry, I'm just organizing some stuff. I think I can do another video. Battlefield 4, 27 million views. Oh my god. 18 million. 10 million. Priscilla's song. What the fuck is this? 10 million views. Why? Okay. Baka Mitai? Well, that actually doesn't surprise me. 62 million views? What the fuck? Okay. Really? Well, how many views? Hold on. What the fuck? Chat forces me to do push-ups. The fuck? Nope. No. No, Lua. I will not watch. This is 20 million. I just want another excuse to listen to this. What was I watching? I was watching Luality do push-ups because her chat told her to.
This is as far as I go. I refuse to go another step.
Alright, we'll no longer watch that. Scaramouche boss theme? Let me see. Oh, 4.3 is not that much. What are we trying to do? I'm gonna film a video about some of the most played songs on YouTube. But I'm just confirming 62 million, 20 million. That's a shame. 10 million, 10 million, 18 million, 27 million, 52 million. 6.8 million. That's not that much, but it is nice. 31 million. 10 million. Halo theme has 50 million. Oh, we gotta add it, of course. Hold on. La Vogelette has 6.3 million.
Suffering.
Actually, that reminds me. Hold on. La Signora. Yeah, I've got a Doom. I've got a Doom. La Signora's got 10 million. I'll grab that. Well, this is only part 1. I'll do more, obviously. I'm always looking for the next bucket item. God of War. Which one? It's copyright. I can never play God of War. It pisses me off so much. Well, yeah, I already have Still Alive. Hello. Sonic Green Hill Zone has 16 million. Oh, Dragonborn? There's a neat Reddit thread with the top 20 stream. Where? 16 million. Yeah, I see that. DuckTale moon theme is 12 million. Yeah, send it. Well, thank you. Actually, what? Man, all this Undertale stuff I can't play because of this stupid fucking... Yeah, White Palace is annoying as shit. Live and learn! Halo 2, I've never heard Blow Me Away, so I think I'm going to actually... Wait, I want to see if this is true. So the Halo theme song is 50 million. Can they really be that many? Are views different than watches? Hold on. Devil. Wait, no. Really? Devil Trigger. Oh, but this won't count because he probably took it down as well. Yeah, he did. 3.4. Wait. So Minecraft Sweden. Oh, it's also Spotify. That makes sense. I was about to say. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so actually, Blow Me Away only has 5.8 million views. Man, one video getting 5.8 million views would probably change my whole life. Well, all right, wait. So, yes, 12 million, 20, 60, 10, 10, 18, 27, 52. Suki just wanted me to listen to this. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. I it's got 6.8, so it would not be very useful for the particular, like, I wanted to keep it above 10 million, but I think I might just make an exception because it's such a banger. Sticker Bush. Doom OST, 31 million. 10 million. I'm not going to play the whole song either because it's too long. La Senora is valid. 52 million. 10 million from 4 years ago. Moon to the Moon is 12 million. Green Hill Zone, 16 mil. 16 million Dragonborn. And then 12 million DuckTales. How many does Lumiere have? Not that much because it's just too new. Oh shit, 7 million already? Lumiere is 1.6. Special. Yeah, let me grab that too. Yes, DNA, yes. I just don't want them to... Ooh. Huh? What do you mean? Oh, Final Fantasy. Thank you. Let me see. Also, if you never joined on one of these streams, they're very, like, whatever. They're very chaotic. What? Never sang my songs on the stage on my own. Whenever said my words, wishing they never be heard. I saw you smiling at me. Was it real or just my fantasy? So good. You'd always be there in the corner. Tiny little bar. My last. What? She did this in one take and she didn't know any English? Get the fuck. Are you serious? Really? Well, I already have, well, we're not going to listen to we're not going to listen to everything here. Just Beads theme from Pokemon? I haven't. Beads theme? Oh, I might as well. I'll do it in honorable mentions. Oh yeah, you're right. 6.2 mil. What the fucking chaos was that? All right, I'll put that there. Honorable mentions will go to Sticker Bush. Sticker Bush? Does Advent Children count though? Oh yeah, only 35. Actually, that reminds me. It doesn't count? All right, I'll take it off. Universal Collapse has 9.8 million. That's insane. Wait, how many does yeah. Oh, this is Jamie. This is wait. Wow, the non yeah, that's hilarious. 36 million. Where do you see 50 million? Doesn't matter. 30 oh, yeah, you said 35. Sorry. Maybe I'd do Cynthia's theme instead. 23 million. Yeah. Okay. This is a long video, so I need to not make it long. Okay. Let me film it. Let me film this. Okay. What's up, Buffalo Chicken? How you? I'm about to film a video. Thanks for that, Awana, though. That's cool. What's up? Thanks for that, Awana. I have to wait. There it is. Sorry for the hiccup. I encoding just had like a meltdown. You're working a mandatory 12-hour shift? Oh man. That sucks. No, we're back. We're back. Just refresh. Don't be sorry. Be better. Just kidding. Okay. The other day I got to thinking, what are the most popular YouTube video game songs that are out? Like how many plays have some of these songs received? And because my name is Marco, and I'm a former professional opera singer turned YouTuber who loves video game music, I felt that it was my responsibility to find out. And I have collected an aggregate of many video game pieces of music that have been listened to above 10 million times. And so I'm going to go ahead and listen to some of these because I want to know what you have listened to 1 million times. And I know you, specifically you, have listened to some of these tracks more than 1 million times yourself. So of all of the ones that surprised me the most, though, has got to be this guy, Baka Mitai, coming in at 62 million years. Oh, I'm sorry. What? 62... 62 million views. Oh my god. バカみたい子供なのね夢を
追って傷ついて嘘が下手なくせに笑えない笑顔を見せた
I love you もろくに言わない口下手で
ほんまに不器用
なのにどうしてさよなら
言えたのダメだねダメよダメなのよあんたが好きで好きすぎてどれだけ強いお酒でも歪まない
the piano
思い
chords.
出が
Beating baka mitai. Here's the thing though. Do we think that that became popular because of memes, or do we think it became popular because it's like a legitimately good song? Because I mean, I think the memes probably propelled this forward a lot. But I have to say that the song is actually really beautiful, and I think it's actually really thoughtful. It's like a sad love song about loss, unrequited love, so on and so forth. And like, I think it's, if I recall correctly, that's what it's about. And you know, while yes, you can play it at karaoke, blah 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 blah, I think that it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song that I'm kind of happy it has 62 million views in the last 7 years of this particular upload. It's too much fun. It's a beautiful song. Next up is another one that kind of caught me off guard. This is Priscilla's song from The Witcher 3. I played 450 plus hours of The Witcher 3 and I don't recall this, so I'm intrigued. And there's actually a video that goes along with this as well. Why does this have 10 million views? God, The Witcher. What a good game. That slight out of tuneness is so nice.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars own. Rend my heart open, then your love profess. A winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. The wolf I will follow into the storm to find your heart, its passion displaced by our ever-growing, hardening into stone. Amidst the cold to hold you in a heated embrace. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? You flee, my dream, come the morning.
Yeah, so I think part of the reason why that's so evocative, well, there's actually like several reasons after watching this. Number one is getting the audience reactions. There's a reason why reaction content is as popular as it is on YouTube. Part of that is confirmation bias. Part of it is watching someone have a genuine experience with something that you maybe liked or didn't like, or wanting to see what someone thinks or feels about whatever. And on top of that, there's just this the connection with people online or otherwise is a very powerful thing. So in the diegetic space, having someone play a song in a concert, on a stage, in a video game, while you are playing and watching them watch her, who's watching the watcher, as it were, is a very compelling thing. Now, also, Priscilla's singing here is incredibly light. It is full of flaws. It is breathy. It is airy. It's not really technique. There's not a lot of technique. All that to say, it's still beautiful, obviously. The reason why that is more evocative to us is because it is untrained. So what we end up getting is we don't get the barrier between, say, like going to an opera or something where you're going to hear someone who's a professional at this. This is a bard, a person like a sing-songing type of style, a folk song kind of style that feels very improvised in its own way. That is evocative. That is so interesting to listen to. And I'm not surprised that's maybe why that video has, 10 plus million views. Very, very intoxicating to listen to. And I found myself sitting here 3 minutes in. I don't know about you. Maybe you were skipping around. You better not have, because, I don't make these videos for anybody, anyway, I was entranced. And I've seen this before now that my memory was jogged while I was watching it, but also like it's a very intoxicating thing to experience. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the craziest, biggest fan of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I'm like a diehard MGS1 fanboy. So when I tried to play MGR, I kind of was like whatever about it. I know, but Jamie's music is insanely good. And this particular video of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, the only thing I know for real, Sam's boss battle, 36 million views. I'm getting the sense that some tracks that become really popular, it isn't necessarily because of their merit, but because of their meme value. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I mean, musically, it's dope. And actually, what I think really is the coolest part about MGR is the fact that a lot of these boss themes, I think all these boss themes, I actually, I kind of want to, now that I'm kind of like away from, like, I haven't played Metal Gear in a long time, even though literally I'm looking at a wallpaper of Snake in the elevator in MGS1, that I'm diehard MGS 1. It was the first game I ever bought with, and it doesn't matter, but the first game I ever bought with my own money. But like, I love that the boss themes have so much like impetus, and you get kind of the internal dialogue and the internal world of the bosses. I think that's really cool. Maybe now is the time to go back and play it again. Memes, the nano machines, whatever that saying is, whatever. But the way that they use music in the game is really good, and I'm just not crazy about it. Raiden as a character doesn't really, I'm not that compelled by Raiden, but yeah, the music is incredible. So I'm not surprised that, even though I think, you know, Sam is a meme, 36 million views is pretty wild. Let's pop over to, speaking of Metal Gear, of course, Metal Gear Delta just came out, but here is the OG Snake Eater theme. This one's sitting at 18 mil, and for good reason. What a thrill. I don't think this is memed on, though.
And silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'm melting to you. What a fear in my heart. But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I like to use. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
It's just such a good song within its own right. And I think, like, I mean, obviously, I think like the MGS3 was a super impactful video game that, you know, I think has left its mark on a generation of people. And I do think that obviously there are plenty of memes. The ladder meme, God, everything's a meme now. Damn it. But I don't think that this one became famous or successful because of the meme. I just think it's an insanely good track, and a delight to listen to, frankly. And yeah, it's awesome. No surprise, but Battlefield 4, you know, again, not my favorite. I'm a purist when it comes to Battlefield. Actually, hold on one sec. I'm actually curious. Battlefield 1942 main theme. Wow. Only 9 million. Meanwhile, Battlefield 4, 27 million. Am I just old? That music plays as I say that. Yes, you are, you old bastard. What a build-up. I don't think I've ever heard this version. That's a minute build? Yeah, I mean, I think musically, like, that's still not my favorite. I definitely think 1942 Battlefield 1. I guess that's also because of my like upbringing with classical music and stuff. Like, I think that's not to say that I'm not. I definitely vibe with that, but I don't think it hits me as hard as the trumpets and 1942's main theme. But I suppose the cultural relevance of Battlefield in 3 and 4 was a pretty big deal. And yeah, Battlefield 6 following that kind of pattern, I think. To no one's surprise, Still Alive from Portal has got a ton of views. 52 million views in the last 17 years on this particular video. But I think for good reason.
I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense
It's so funny.
over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and killed me.
Yeah, and I think with Still Alive or Katamiya Dio, both of them, there's so much irony in it, and the lyrics are so fascinating. And Katamiya Dio is a separate conversation because like that's really an evolution of classical music, or really a going back to classical music in a big way. So I really like Katamiya Dio, but Still Alive has playfulness. It has, you know, a really nice melody, wonderful movement. And also too, I think like, you know, I don't know if this is a meme related song. It probably is at this point. I feel like every one of these is memed, but fundamentally it is actually like a really charming, simple little, very, 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 very good, nice song. Like that's just what it is. And I think it also connects people to a lot to Portal, because, you know, Portal and Portal 2 are such monumentally good games that really in some ways redefined and or are still defining puzzle games, if that makes sense. So that's not surprising. Also not surprising is At Doom's Gate from Doom. That's at 31 million views based on this video I'm looking at. It's crazy, and I'm not sure like how much cultural relevance this particular Doom sound has. It's interesting though, because in my experience with Doom the Dark Ages as an example, that actually the structure of those compositions, while I wasn't the biggest fan of them, they felt fairly simple, and it really, there was no like memorable little nugget per se. It actually harkens back musically all the way back to this particular sound. Now this particular sound to me doesn't necessarily fit the sort of Doom. It would actually be an amazing game to have like traditional old school Doom, but in a modern, I guess we did that with Doom 3, but you know, it'd be cool to see it now in 2025. Doom is smart because I find that they're always trying to pivot it from what it was, because, you know, but Doom Doom is Doom. Like it's funny. Like I don't necessarily think that this particular song at Doomsgate is a meme per se. I do think that it's just such a classic sound. And we've had some really interesting iterations. And of course, Mick Gordon being the biggest, I think, the only thing they fear is you being such a massive shift. Now, for the sake of it, I know that has way more plays, and I'm not entirely sure why it's not on this particular video, because one has 32 million views and the other one has 14 million views. The other one has 8 million views. The other one has 7 million views. But we've all heard it. And also, like, why not give a little bit of credit to the OG with 31 million views? No slouch. It's amazing how much Doom again was such a fundamental changer of the boomer shooter, as it were, in its entirety. I wanted to stay within this sort of kind of time period with Sonic, with Green Hill Zone. Green Hill Zone has 16 million views. And I personally love Green Hill Zone. Like, I know that Sonic fans are kind of tired of it because they've heard it in so many different games, but I'm kind of new in my Sonic journey, and I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. To me, Green Hill Zone, not only do I still identify this as like Sonic, but I also I just adore it. I think it's not just something that plays in the background. Like, this is a fun, energetic, wonderful melody that I think is such like when you think video game music, you think Super Mario. And I hope that you think Green Hill Zone, like, especially if we're thinking about the 90s, 91 especially, like, it's just so good. And I'm happy that has 60 million views. It's just so good. It's just so good. Hold on one second. A movie I watched recently that is old that I think has a great soundtrack, Chief, is The Legend of Zorro. The Legend of Zorro has this overarching motif that plays throughout it that I think is so much fun. I also really loved K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought that was a great soundtrack. Really, really good. I mean, the whole point of the soundtrack. It's just so good. I would really recommend that if you haven't watched it. I also recently watched Emperor's New Groove. I really enjoyed that soundtrack as well. I'm trying to think. I've seen The Departed, but I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. Let's see. Staying within the same area, of course, is the Moon theme. And I don't know why the Moon theme is so popular, to be honest. You would think like a random Nintendo IP of DuckTales, something that I don't know that a lot of people are thinking about. As of 16 years ago, this particular video has 12 million views on the Moon and the Moon theme. And I'm really intrigued to know why. Besides the fact that it's really pretty. like melodically speaking, that is such a joy. I don't know if it's because of like some meme or something, but like what an incredibly good piece of music. Like I genuinely think it's super, super, super interesting and beautiful. And it's all about like the pursuit of life and the willingness to like conquer the challenge of, you know, climbing a mountain or something. Like there's something so invigorating about that honestly, I might even do an individual video on the Moon theme, because it is so beautiful. Really, really elegant. And if, you know, I don't really care about the 8-bit sound. I don't care that that's what it is, but I mean, imagine hearing it orchestrated and fleshed out and turned into like a symphonic poem. Like, wow, it'd be awesome. Of course, Pokemon also has massive fan base. And Cynthia's theme over here, we're sitting at 23 million views. I'm not surprised, because Cynthia's theme is insanely good. But let's check it out. And I think like this particular version, and the reason why it has so many views is because, you know, Cynthia is terrifying. And while I haven't fought Cynthia myself, like there's something about this particular fight that I think like is lodged into people's minds. You know, and I think part of the charm of video games is that you encounter these musical moments that then you can attach yourself to. And so then every time you hear it, you're like thinking about the fact that you like barely survived your fight with Cynthia, or like this is a moment of, you know, for me, it'd be like One Winged Angel and the struggle that I had against Sephiroth when I was a kid, you know. And so some of this is probably nostalgia, and some of it's also because it's just a really well-written piece. It's cool to see. I mean, again, I can't restate how incredible it is that these games have this many millions of views. That's a huge deal. It's a huge deal as a fan of music to see something have 10, 12, 15, 20, 100 million views, whatever. Like, it's crazy that these songs have influenced this many people. And I mean, this isn't even necessarily the big, I mean, over here I'm looking, there's the red theme, Champion and Red Battle, 14 million views. Like, it's crazy, you know, like it's amazing. In a more modern sense, La Signora's battle theme, actually from Genshin Impact, has 10 million views. No slouch there. This second phase is so good. I love that. It's so mysterious, so dangerous. The piano symbolizing flames. The singer representing Signora. And the upper register. Yeah, it's hard to deny how cool that piece is. And in a lot of ways that feels to me, and it felt like that when I first heard this piece, gosh, 3 years ago now, that it really does feel like the evolution of classical music, using these instrumentation choices, and really leaning into that electric guitar and leaning into, using classical soprano and so on and so forth. Like, it's such a divine piece of mystery and magic and danger and all that sort of stuff. It's just really, 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 it's not surprising that this has, in the last 4 years, mind you, has 10 million views, which is crazy. Of course, the Halo theme song, the OG, 52 million in the last 12 years. Now, of course, some of this, without saying, obviously is because of time, and the more time goes on, the more tracks are listened to over and over and over. But you have to understand that we have 40 plus years of video game music history, and there is countless music being written that people forget. And it's incredible that we tend to default and defer to a lot of these tracks that have been around for a really long time. But there is so much more music out there that you probably haven't discovered or know. And I would encourage you to keep an open mind and keep looking for things and keep exploring old stuff while also paying attention to new stuff. It's a lot. There's a lot going on when it comes to video game music. And while I'm excited to be listening to some of the most popular, the most played pieces, I also, I really recommend just making sure to look things up that are random that you've never heard of. Resonance of Fate or RoboQuest or whatever, like just random ass. I don't know. There's such a vast world to get lost in when it comes to music. And if you're a fan of video games, I would encourage you to do it. I mean, iconic intro. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying Halo's impact on video games and on people on the whole. Like, God, Halo was not my childhood, but it was certainly my friends' childhood, and what are friends even, and how do I find friends? What are they? What are they? I've always looked for them. What? Unrelated. LAN parties and hanging out at your buddies while they were playing Halo was just something that I just grew up with and know implicitly in playing Halo at my buddy's house. It's such a monumental game for so many people, and it's no surprise that has 52 million views in the last 12 years in this particular video. Now, of course, I'm a big Bloodborne fan. In fact, I would say Bloodborne is the best, if not my favorite soundtrack that FromSoft has ever made and put out. So I'm going to take an opportunity to highlight the incredible nature that is Bloodborne, Ludwig the Holy Blade, 20 million views in the last 9 years, and of course play this section, my absolute favorite. It's just one of the absolute best pieces of music ever. I just love it so much. And, no slouch. We're not quite at 10 million views yet, but believe it or not, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 Lumiere, as of 4 months ago on the official channel, 7.7 million views, which is absolutely crazy.
Obscur dans les hauts peintures trouvera sans elle. Clair obscur troublera, tu courbera les fers. Clair obscur dans les hauts peintures trouvera sans elle.
Truly one of the greatest soundtracks to come out of video games, no exaggeration, and personally a soundtrack that I think deserves all the love and more. I really believe that this soundtrack has reverberated through people in a way that I haven't seen in a while. It's such an exceptional experience to hear this music and to see where it goes. They've just announced a concert tour, and man, the sky really is the limit, which is amazing. So props to them. 7.7 million views on Lumiere in the last 4 months is absolutely crazy. Let me know what other tracks you think deserve to be in a let me know what other tracks you think deserve to be in a top 10 million video game soundtrack listen video. Thanks a ton, and I'll see you later. The game's great. You should definitely try it. Every time your facial hair changes, it's like your shape. It's like you shape shift. I'll take that as a compliment. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to hop off. I have therapy later, so I'm going to bounce. Thanks a ton for hanging out. Let me film some videos here. It's always a blast to film. We had some really, like 5 or 6 really good videos that I hope will be enjoyable once they're edited. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye, guys. See you later. What time tomorrow? I don't know. Later. 1 o'clock-ish. I definitely want to watch that Clair Obscur concert that's taking place in France. That's at 2 o'clock p.m. So maybe 1 o'clock. So take care, you guys.